What's up, everybody? Alex here. Wanted to shoot a little quick celebrational video. We have gained a milestone. We have 500 subscribers on the channel. So I thought I would shoot a quick little video about that. I did this when we hit 100 subscribers, which was, I guess, my first milestone. I guess the first milestone was just starting this channel in general and having anyone care, but we're slowly starting to move forward. So a quick little thought is 500 is kind of a fun number. There's something about me that thinks that once there's 1,000 subscribers on the channel, I'll be maybe able to call myself a semi-legit YouTuber, which is kind of a funny. It's just like this day and age. Like, it's quite amazing that I can literally just be here in the forest, like sitting and recording to my phone, and people out there is actually gonna watch this. This is my sort of philosophical, I don't know. I just think it's kind of cool that what we can do today. So I thought I would share a little something, which is thank you so much to everybody who, has subscribed, all of you guys that comment on the videos. There's more and more people like reaching out. I feel there's a momentum growing here. There's like more and more good stuff happening, and more people are like acknowledging kind of what I want to do with this channel. Like, I think I've said it before. If not, I have said it in a podcast episode that hasn't been released yet, but I started this channel really because kind of out of my own frustration, kind of out of me not being able to find quality YouTube videos on beach volleyball. I thought things were just like some person said something and another pro said something else, and it didn't make sense. And then when you looked at the person that said X, they actually did Y themselves. So they didn't even do what they said they were doing. And I was just like, this is not cool. I had bought a huge singing program before I even started with volleyball. And this guy that created this program had just like, it just felt like he had, it was like a complete fucking map of how to learn to sing. Like, if this is the world map here, here's all the countries. It was like just exploring the whole field and like explaining how everything works. Like, here's some exercise, you can try this, and here's you can try this, and now when you have tried all of these things, well, you can try to combine these and these and this. And it just felt like I was led by someone who had taken the time to understand just how to sing like properly. Someone who was really curious about singing and had like spent years and years and years in figuring this stuff out, and then he just shared his information. And I was like, I want this for beach volleyball, but I just found out that it doesn't exist. So the long-term plan with this project, as some of you know, is to create that, but we're obviously not there yet, but I think we're getting closer to it. It's so fun for me to hear people that are like, yeah, like, you're doing something different than other people are, and that has always been the goal, and is always going to be the goal. And I'm so happy that it's not only in my head anymore. There's actually people out there starting to see that. It is kind of like, if I'm gonna go personal, it's kind of scary. Like, a couple years ago, maybe actually even earlier than that, I knew that one day I will create this channel. And I had these ideas. I was like, my head was full of ideas that I was like, there's probably a lot of people out there, more than me, that would actually benefit hugely from ideas like this. And it's just amazing to be a human being that has had ideas like that and then started to take action on that, and to see that is happening. Like, there's people that actually seem to care. There's people that click the subscribe button. I don't know. Maybe you don't get this. Maybe it's just my whatever personal reflections here. But for me, it's almost kind of emotional. It's just really, really cool to see it happen. So thank you, everybody, for all of your support. every time I see someone shares my content, it's just very cool. And every time people comment and say that, you know, something I've said has resonated with me, it's really another personal thing. It's really fun to to every now and then. My YouTube channel is still small, and we're, as I said when we had 100, like, this is a milestone, but we're very far from the end goal. I'll say it again, and I'll say it at every single milestone in the future. This is a milestone, but we're going way further than this. But it's so fun that sometimes actually happens that people are like, "Hey, you're the YouTube guy," and that's just, I don't know. It's just really, it's like a surreal experience when that happens. It's really a fun when it happens, though. So yeah, celebration. I mean, I hope this video is some value to someone. Maybe you get to know me a little bit better. I'm just a normal guy that wanted to figure this sport out. I started looking everywhere and found that shit, I think there is a lot of stuff that people are just missing, and because there's no one teaching it. So I'm attempting to do that. There's still, it's kind of weird to create this channel because I want to create content that people like watch, but I also want to create content that I really feel helps people. And the thing is that going forward in life, I've seen, is quite often quite counterintuitive. So we don't really always know what we need to move forward. So sometimes I know that, like, the videos I create that are more technical, like more just hands-on beach volleyball, they always get more views, more shares, etc. And that makes complete sense because that's what people are looking for. But I'm trying to also add the philosophical videos, the more thoughtful videos and whatnot, because I really think that in the long run they can have a lot more value. Like, they are sort of the things that if you get those right, they will just like save you time over and over and over and over again, and accumulative effects like that, and just being huge in the long run. And I still have like a lot of stuff that I haven't shared. I haven't fucking shit. Sorry, I'm swearing. I know, whatever. It's my channel. I do whatever I want. Learn beach volleyball fast. Like, the ground of this stuff is like some of the thoughts of how to actually learn skills, and I haven't even started touching that yet. It's gonna be my first course that I'm gonna release is gonna be a couple hours or something long, and it's just really gonna go deep in the psychological skills combined with how our brains work, combined with drill design, just how to get our bodies to learn new technique and new skills as fast as possible. And obviously that's not all that Learn Beach Volleyball Fast means, but it's a big part of it, and I haven't even touched this, but I guess it's really cool that people are still enjoying the channel. Right there, I should add something, which is there are people, like, some people have listened to Coach Your Brains Out, which is a great volleyball podcast, volleyball and beach volleyball podcast. They talk about motor learning, they talk about sports psychology. But the interesting thing is that I'm always frustrated when I listen to that podcast because they haven't understood. They don't know what I'm gonna teach in my first course. Like, literally, after you take my first course, you will understand more about how humans learn skills than 99% of the coaches in the world. I know it's a huge claim, but I really think that this is the case. I've had it's funny, he's probably gonna watch this video actually. There's one group that I coached before, and I really had a plan that, okay, this fall I'm gonna coach this group, but I'm also over time going to really teach like these skills that I'm talking about, the psychological and whatnot skills about how we learn skills. So in the beginning, it was the first or second session, I had like a little like a thing on the whiteboard where I like explained how our brains work that I'm gonna do in the course as well. And afterwards, when I was done with the lesson, this one guy comes up to me and says that he's a brain researcher. Like, he's actually a neuroscientist that studies this stuff and works with this stuff. And I was like, oh shit. I'm like, I've I've destroyed this. Like I've said that this is how our brains work and whatnot. But he didn't say that I was wrong. He said, you explained what I do and what I work with in a way that I've never been able to see. I've never been able to see how practical my job is, how I can actually use what I study and work with every day into making my life better. And that was just amazing. Like I have, so at first I was scared. I had like butchered his theories, but then he comes and says that like, hey, you just explained something that I worked with for years in a much more practical way that I've ever been able to put out with myself. I think you, I won't say your name, but you're probably maybe gonna see this. But I think that was about exactly what you said, or my memory is biased, but it was just really, really fun. So enough about that. There are people that say that they know motor learning science, they have read the papers, whatnot. Maybe I'm talking big, but I'm gonna take that to the next level, and that's gonna change how this sport is learned and taught for the future. You might not believe that yet, but once you have taken my course, you will. But I also know that a course like that is kind of something that people need to start trusting me before they will even care about that. No one's gonna watch a 2-hour thing course about how to learn faster if you don't even trust me before. So slowly but surely we're getting there. Not all the videos I create are I don't know, clickbait is not the right word, but some videos are just easier for people to click. Like it's easier to grab people's attention. Like, hey, here's how to pass, here's how to spike. Like obviously that's gonna get more views, but I'm mixing in like more deeper videos, and it's just like back and forth. Some of the people that watch the how to spike will also watch the what the fuck philosophy beach volleyball, what is this, like it's kind of fun. So the last guy I met that had recognized me from my videos, he was like, yeah, like this is something, we talked about some deep topic like how to whatever learn something, and he was like, this is the stuff that you would talk on your YouTube channel but nobody else would. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly the type of stuff. And that's the, yeah, I hope people appreciate what I'm trying to do here. Shit, I'm talking away here. Video's getting longer than I planned. Let's cut it shorter, or let's not make it too much longer. So let's do something fun for this 500 celebration. Let's do an Ask Me Anything. I think it's basically you guys should just send me questions about whatever. Okay, probably within some sort of limits, but let's see if this happens. If you guys have any questions, you should write them in the comments below. I've done this before in the Facebook group. There's around the 5th of the subscribers of this channel, or 6th or whatever, also end up being in the Facebook group. So I've done that before there. If there's someone out there wanting more content from me, like faster than I create, then there is a few videos in the Facebook group that aren't available on the YouTube channel. So if you need one more reason to join the Facebook group, that could be one. Anyway, shoot some questions about whatever, whether it's technique or plans, or who the fuck am I, what's the plans, how good am I at volleyball, is my shoulder bad, is my shoulder injured, what do I do when I'm injured? Doesn't matter. Whatever, shoot some questions, whatever you're curious about, and we'll see what happens from that. Because it will be fun to just sometimes answer just absolute things that people wonder about. And then we'll see, as always, it's like whatever question I get, it's almost like I can always answer it in 1 minute, 10 minutes, or 5 hours, depending on how deep you go into the explanation. So yeah, I'm probably gonna run into the same problem as I constantly do with this program, which is that I really want to go deep into stuff, but that will happen a little bit later in the courses, because the courses will really be like only people that are really motivated and listening to deep explanations will go and take the courses. And to a big extent, because of what I sort of like I explained the map with the singing course I did before, sometimes to really understand something, I found that for you to understand this point here, you need to first fully understand this point, and then you fully understand this point, and then fully understand that point. And once you have all of these points, might take an hour of talking to understand. And then when you know all of these, well, then you can start combining them. And now you're getting to the magic here. And that's just this type of stuff that a YouTube channel isn't really good for. It's just like people don't go on YouTube to understand that kind of deep stuff. But really, like, this is a complicated sport. Like, a part of me wants to say that if we actually want to get really good at it, and we didn't happen to pick it up somehow naturally as kids, like, we might have to start studying a little bit like school. It doesn't need to be boring like school, and it can be in podcast form. A lot of the courses I'm going to create in the future are just going to be sort of podcasts. So even if it's a 5-hour course, it's just audio recordings that you can listen to while you're commuting. So, 5 hours, that might be a lot to just sit in front of the computer and watch. But if you just put the podcast episodes on your phone or whatever, and for a week or two you listen to it when you go to work, well, all of a sudden you've listened to it all. And it didn't feel like a lot of work. It was just like, hey, you got to learn stuff about volleyball on the way to work or whatever. Because I've noticed in my own life that is really the way to learn stuff. That's really the way to easily consume a lot of content. And that's when you can have the patience to really listen to, like, okay, 1 hour of that, 1 hour of that, 1 hour of that, and then 2 hours of how to fucking combine all of these things. And that's like where the absolute gold stuff is. And I hope you see that it's gonna be in very rare cases some coach is gonna teach that kind of stuff in like group lessons. Maybe if the coach has a really like good like forward thinking and has you for like a year, he can like slowly implant these lessons into you. But that's rarely the case, and I see that in beach volleyball, a lot of people just take like one-off lessons. And when you have one-off lessons, you don't have the ability to do that sort of long-term teaching. So yeah, I think that these courses is gonna change. I hope it's gonna be sort of the first thing out there that will easily let people have those kind of master insights. The big combination lessons. This video is getting longer than my normal YouTube videos, and I was supposed to do a like 2-3 minute thing. So I think I'll be done now. But send me some questions, put them in the description below, and we'll see where that takes us. If I'm gonna be able to answer them in 1 minute, or if it's gonna be a huge long podcast episode that I will have answering those questions, or what will happen. And yeah. Keep sharing, keep subscribing, keep joining the Facebook group, keep commenting, and keep giving me feedback on whatever is good, whatever is bad. I learned so much from all of it, and I'm so thankful that there's people out there outside of me that wants this project to grow. I really think that this is a win-win for all of us. I really want to share my perspective of the sport, because my background in it is different. That's also in the podcast episode that's not released yet. We'll get it later. But yeah, I do think that my journey in the sport is quite different from a lot of people's. And it's not that I'm a better person than anyone else. It's nothing like that. It's just I have a different perspective. And from this different perspective, I've learned different things than other people have. And that's the reason that I'm creating this channel. I don't have all the answers, but I have some answers. And the answers I have, I very rarely see anyone else talk about. And the answers I have, a lot of people that I coach are getting helped by a lot. So I do think that there's a lot of value in me just getting to create this project, and it really helps that people are engaged and help me grow this channel. So share it to friends and all of that. The faster it grows, the easier it is for me to create this stuff. All right, thanks, and I hope someone watched all of this. See you later, and keep learning and playing beach volleyball.